This video was kind of unexpected and I was hoping it would just take like 10 minutes because I gotta get my leg day in, but with all the interruptions and food that Lila wanted and water, she's on a refeed day. So today's vlog was inspired by an Instagram post that was sent to me. Somebody sent it to me because obviously I'm always talking about starvation mode. And this post, I will post it on the video, probably here or here. We're gonna keep the guy's name cropped out just because that part doesn't even matter. The point of the post is this idea that starvation mode doesn't exist. First of all, what happens when you're on a fitness journey and you go into starvation mode is your goals start to get hurt by this. Biggest thing here is it affects guys differently than it affects women. So a lot of guys do believe that starvation mode doesn't exist because they can drop their calories very low and what happens? They lose weight, they burn fat. Why? I've made a very detailed video about this, so I may just link it on this one. But to sum it up, a woman's body cannot be expected to function the way a man's body works. And this is where it gets kind of, it's hard to explain because it sounds wrong, but it's just how it is. Women bear children. After we bear children, we have breast milk that keeps the kids alive for quite some time. So our bodies are a little bit more important because of that, because we bring life into the world and we keep that life going for quite some time. So our bodies respond to a deficit much worse than a man's. Our body's first instinct is, oh shit, she can't die, let's drop her metabolism, let's slow things down so that she doesn't die off because there are lives that depend on her. She needs to survive. Therefore, you will not benefit from starving yourself the way a man will, because say a man does it and it's like, no one's really depending on you. Don't take it bad. Obviously your wives, your girlfriends do depend on you like that, but speaking of it as in, do you bear children? No, you don't. So your body accepts a deficit much better than a girl's. My husband eats less than me. He can do that. You know, when he wants to cut, he can eat much less than me. Now mind you guys, as much as you can do this and you can get away with eating 1,000 calories, beware that when you lose weight too rapidly, what happens? Just the same thing as what happens to a girl. You will have loose skin. You're not gonna look tight and uplifted. Your chances of building muscle are not gonna be very great because muscle needs fuel in order to grow. So yeah, you'll get skinny, but you're probably not gonna build those arms and shoulders and chest that you want to build eating at such a low deficit. And then lastly, testosterone. It's, yeah, no, not good at all. You can't really starve yourself for that reason. You can eat at a deficit and probably get away with eating a little bit less than a woman, but there are negative side effects for guys as well. So don't just take it like, oh, we can do whatever we want, because that's really not the case. Next, I wrote everything down. I like to keep my thoughts in order. For the small percentage that will lean, because it is possible to lean eating at such a terrible, terrible deficit. I've seen many people do it, and they get very lean and shredded. Most of the time before competitions, you know, the girls want to show off everything, their small waist and all their muscles, so what they do is they completely bring down their carbs and calories, and that way you see all the muscle. What happens after the show? They blow up like a blowfish, and it's really hard to come back from that. What happened was you destroyed your metabolism and it was not sustainable for you to continue on living this way. So you went back to normal things and it didn't work so well for you. So for those that do get away with it, you pay for it in the long run because you are left worse off than you were to begin with. That's not a good thing, and it's really not good to play with your body so much because then hormones start to act up and things just go kind of wacky. So that is my other point. Next, if all this does not convince you, it is not healthy. Like, this post aggravates me because it is not healthy. What you're telling people is it's okay to eat 500 calories because starvation mode doesn't exist. What? It's not okay. It's not healthy. We've already discussed how it's so bad for you. Imagine, my husband made a really good point. Our bodies are meant to eat. You can't survive without eating. So how are you going to take that part out of living? It's like having a plant and never giving it water but wishfully hoping that it survives. It's not going to happen. You want to have luscious flowers growing, but you don't want to give it the nutrients it needs. It's not going to happen, you know? So keep those things in mind. A post like this aggravates me because he doesn't understand the damage he's doing. And he has a lot of followers, so who's to say that someone's gonna listen to what Florina has to say, because she doesn't even have a quarter of his followers, as opposed to what this guy's saying, because he has so many followers. So let's all just start believing him. A lot of those comments, people were like, oh really, that's true? I didn't know that, or I was told this, or my trainer made me eat more. I'm happy some people fought him on it. Some trainers were like, this is very incorrect. You know, women especially get hurt by this, and it's very truthful. He said that he had to increase calories for most women, and that is the only way they were able to lose weight and burn fat. So it just gets me, because you can't just use your own experience as this works for everyone. You know, if you burn fat, and they're guys, so if they got lean and shredded because they decided to starve themselves, great, but you probably, it worked for you doesn't mean you should be telling other people this. Learn the actual facts of it. So even though you're not necessarily hurt by it, doesn't mean that you should tell people, hey, you know, I did it, I was fine, so you should be fine too, I think. You know, it's really easy for people to get cocky when they lose weight, and then they think it's as simple as what they did. Why don't you just eat less? Why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? Because hey, it worked for me. And this kind of aggravates me, because this is how so much bad information gets out there. People that haven't actually worked with people, because if you take the time and experience to work with people, you're gonna start realizing there is no one set calorie. Sometimes you gotta cut, sometimes you gotta increase, sometimes you gotta change something, make them work out less. Yes, that's a thing. Work out less because you're working out too much. Oh, thank you. You're done? Okay. Since she passed by, moms, look at your kids. They're a sure sign. Like, if you don't want to believe me, Lila, every toddler has days where they don't want to eat shit no matter what you put in front of them. And then they have days where they eat your entire fridge. Look at them the next morning, because their tummy tells it all. Lila will be so lean. She's got the lines down the tummy when she eats the day before. When she doesn't want to eat and she says no, 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 she wakes up with a toddler belly. It just sticks out. And that is due to malnutrition from under eating. They're not gonna die, because kids have this thing where they just keep eating and then not eating and refeed days pretty much. But going back to what I was saying, you know, so many people get so cocky when they lose weight. And I know this because, you know, I've helped people lose weight, and then I'm just looking at them like, do you really think you're in a position to be telling people what they should or shouldn't do just because you lost a couple pounds? I remember 7 or 8 years ago when I started working out and I was really shredded, and people started asking me, Florina, what are you doing? Teach me, train me. And I told everyone, I do what works for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for you. I said this over and over again, and this is how it should be, at least until you educate yourself. It should be that way. I did end up sharing my entire workout plan and everything I did, down to like what I even ate, I think. I told them everything, but I told them, guys, this works for me. I'm not really sure if it's gonna help you. I was more in the makeup business at the time, so I just gave it to them and said, good luck if it works, you know, but I did not at all tell people this is what you gotta do in order to see progress, because I didn't know. Now, through years and working with over 1,000 girls and seeing that, you know, you'll get clients that are like, you have to know why they're not getting progress. That's probably the hardest part of being the coach. Yes, you can calculate their macros. There is an art to that. Yes, you can give them the workout formula and tell them how to work out. But the progress photos that come in say what's happening. And this is why I'm always so like, send your progress photos weekly. Because if I see a girl who sends progress photos and she is bloated from up top, you're not eating. Send me screenshots of your macros, and they're not eating, they're not reaching them. I know in an instant what it has to be, and if I don't know what it is, why you're not getting progress, I make the time to talk to you about it. I'll even tap into your past. Hey, were you overweight your entire life? Yes? All right, that's why you're not getting fast progress. Unfortunately, if you're overweight as a kid, it takes a bit longer for you to see progress. You also have double the fat cells, so things progress just a little bit slower. And it helps to be educated and know this rather than not have an answer and not know. But every day you learn. You know, I just learned with a new client. She wasn't getting progress. We kept going back and forth with emails to figure it out. And her situation is not common. So you have to put yourself in a position to be willing to learn. And you can't just say, well, starvation mode doesn't exist because I ate shit calories, and well, hey, do what I did, you know? Like, you have to take the time to do the research, to know how it affects others, the other gender. Is it the same for this gender or not? So, I mean, now I'm just kind of, you can see I'm a little worked up about it, and it's because he has more followers, so his influence may be a little bit bigger, but his post is total BS, you know, and it gets me so angry because I'm like, the poor people who are going to read this and take it to heart and do it, you just screwed them. You pretty much just screwed them. Because like I said, if it does work for you and you get lean, you're gonna blow up like a blowfish when you decide to be normal again, and you're gonna be worse off than you were to begin with. So, fair warning, if you see this post, I mean, I'm not saying yell at him or anything, just don't listen to it. You know, don't listen to it. Know that there's evidence. There's so much evidence, and you have to be willing to step out of your box, what works for you, and see that it doesn't work for everyone. There's no set calorie goal for everyone. There's no set amount of workout activity set for everyone. It's different for everybody, guys. That's why we're all so different, you know? We're uniquely different. You can't just say eat less and it works for everybody. Just eat less and everybody's gonna think about that though, right? Everyone on my program can do the fasting perfect. Why? Because it requires you not to eat. And a lot of people like that. They like to feel like they're starving themselves. Anyone can eat at a deficit. So if it was really that easy, just starve yourself and you'll lose weight, how desperate some people can be, weight would not be an issue. If that was really, if it was that simple, if you think about it, like, hey, everyone just start starving yourself, you know, and everyone's gonna be skinny, we would be living in a world of skinny people. Right? If it was that simple, don't you think? But it's not. So don't pay too much attention to this. I really hate when I see posts like this. It gets me really aggravated. So that's why we did a spontaneous video for you guys, just to kind of highlight this point and make sure that you don't fall for it. And by the way, another thing that aggravates me is when you hear people say, stop eating to overweight people. Just stop eating. Overweight people, obese people, most of them, not all of them, because some, you know, do, and we see proof that they do, but they starve themselves. They are hurting themselves the most. The girls that are most overweight that sign up on my plan are usually the ones eating about 800 calories or less. I've had one who ate like 500 calories. They don't want to be overweight. They know people are judging them, so they don't eat. They're the ones that are affected by the most, and they can't lose weight. Why? Because their body is not well fed. It's in starvation mode, guys. It's a thing. It's in starvation mode. It's gonna make you survive. They're not gonna lose weight like that. What happens? I increase their calories and boom, they start seeing progress. Energy levels are up. Yes, they gain temporary weight, some of them, because they were eating at such a low deficit, but after you get out of that and your metabolism starts picking up and you're doing all the right things, you're going to see good progress. So stop with this whole just eat less thing, because it's not a thing. So many overweight people are hurting their bodies, and they're doing it because of jerks and people that are uneducated and don't know better and are just telling them to stop eating. And family members too, because family members, I don't know how many I've seen that are like, oh no, you ate enough today. How much did they eat? And I literally said this, how much did they eat? I don't know. Well, if you're not tracking their calories, how do you know they overate or they ate too much, you know? Like, it gets me so mad because it's like, and they're doing it to kids, obviously, so that's why I get more upset. Is like, if you're not taking the time to track their calories, you don't have the right to be like, you ate enough, because you don't know how much they ate. So anyway, point being, it doesn't work that way. Starvation mode is a thing. There's enough proof. I've worked with enough people. It does exist. Anyways, vent over. Hope that teaches you a thing or two. And the last real talk with Florina, you guys were so sweet. You guys really motivated me, because hubby's always like, let's do a real talk. And I kind of get turned off by them just because I feel like, I don't know, do people really want to hear me talk, you know? Are they going to get bored? Because for me it's boring. But you guys really shared that you love it. So it helped motivate more talks and things like this, educational one-on-one type of things with you guys. So thank you for sharing that. It was very motivating. This video was kind of unexpected, and I was hoping it would just take like 10 minutes because I gotta get my leg day in, but with all the interruptions and food that Lila wanted and water, she's on a refeed day, so she's like has the munchies the entire day. So it actually took us like what, 45 minutes maybe? To an hour. Now I gotta go get my leg day in. Anyways, we're gonna end it here. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell for notifications, and until next time, bye guys.